Tell me when.
Go.
Now on cable, SNN, Soviet Network News.
Good evening, comrades. Today in Soviet Union, nothing is wrong, especially in Kiev.
Soviet Network News with correspondent Yuri Specimen in Moscow.
Nothing is wrong. Now back to you.
Correspondent Apple Chernova in Chernobyl.
Nothing is wrong, especially near the power plant. Back to you.
Hard-hitting journalism, news, weather, and up-to-the-minute sports with Pete Stroganoff.
In today's games, Soviets win everything. Nothing is wrong.
And coming up, filmed highlights of great American disasters with your host, anchorman Hisa Sanafovich. SNN, Soviet Network News. All you need to know for now.
Nothing is wrong.
What the hell did you expect?
What the hell do you expect?
It's pretty funny.
What do I do with the gun?
Oh, point that end at the bad guys and just shoot.
Which is the end where the bullets come out? Which end?
That one that you think.
Don't shoot yourself. Hey, is that wrong? Do the bullets come out?
Have you ever seen a gun before?
Once in a movie, do the bullets come out of the hole, or do I load them through the hole?
Oh my God, just pull the trigger.
Kim Jong-il would say, "You are useless to me, Eric Barrett. You are useless to me, Alec Baldwin." And I would go to school with my daughter, and her classmates would say that as I'd walk by.
What's up? I'm about to try the new Dorito Shell Taco from Taco Bell.
I might have tacos when I go home. I'm not quite sure yet.
But I kind of got my hands full with these babies.
They don't allow you to have these in everything.
Well, hello. God damn it.
Talk seductively into the laptop, Kevin.
Well, hello and welcome to
We're a podcast. We're super professional.
with our laptop on a box to record this episode.
Nothing is wrong.
Nothing is wrong.
So welcome to What the Hell Did You Expect? This is the 34th episode in a Collector's Series. My name is Kevin Ryan. I will be your host this evening, and I am weighing in at 196 pounds this evening. With me here, as always, Colin Suplee.
I do not weigh 196 pounds. I have no idea how much I weigh.
That's probably a good thing.
Yep.
I wish I didn't know how much I weighed. And also back with us for yet another ghetto episode is Lydia Simmons.
Hello.
It seems like we're kind of cursed to have ghetto episodes whenever you're here.
That's okay. The gods will weigh my soul in the afterlife.
God, you do sound like you're stoned everything you say. I've never noticed that, and then Kevin pointed it out, and now I'm just like, I can't unhear it. I'm sorry.
Hey, Lydia was the one who pointed that out, and then I just extrapolated on that. But
it's like, I sound like I'm just like, all the time, but like...
Yeah, I was suspicious that you might be on cocaine the first time I met you. I literally was like, wow, he sounds like he does a lot of cocaine. And then I got to know you and I was like, nah, it's just Colin.
Yeah, I have never even sniffed a cocaine. I wouldn't even know how to inject them into my bodies. Is this how I drug? I'm bad at it.
Fortunately, I don't think you'll ever have to sniff a cocaine.
I'm glad.
Yeah.
I don't like with the cocaines.
Yeah.
We're sorry that it's a ghetto episode. We're doing so good this season.
I mean, we're sorry, but also kind of not sorry, because, we have had incredibly good luck this season on having the stream up so much that, you know what, one ghetto episode... Well, actually, we had one earlier.
Yeah, this is our second ghetto episode this semester.
Yeah,
that's really good.
That's a better track record than we had on the past two seasons, and I think, I'm pretty okay with this being a ghetto episode. As long as our last episode, next week, as long as that's not ghetto,
yeah.
I'm fine with it.
You know what's really ghetto? This chair.
Yeah.
You gave me the worst chair.
Yeah,
Do
we
you
did.
do this to all your guests?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, well then I feel equally treated.
I
I
think we gave Adassa a better... I think you took that chair when Adassa was here.
Yeah, I think it's because I came in here and she was sitting in the good chair and I didn't have the heart
That's
to take
right.
away the good chair from her.
That's right.
It's like, well, alright. I'm not gonna be like, that's my chair.
And once again, we talk about our equipment.
Scandal.
You know, I really care less because we're on a ghetto episode. And, like, no one besides us is going to listen to these particular episodes in the future anyway, unless they're really starved for our delicious, succulent voices.
Maybe we'll be celebrities in the future. Maybe I'll be a celebrity in the future and nobody will care about you, but they'll just listen to these ghetto episodes with me in them.
Well, that's bleak. Thanks for introducing that.
I'd be totally okay with that, honestly. I think that'd be really funny.
Maybe I'll convert to Catholicism and I'll eventually be a cardinal because the Catholic Church finally gets its shit together and everybody will be trying to dig up dirt on me to like prevent me from becoming the first female pope and they'll find these. And it'll ruin all of my chances.
if it means you becoming pope, I will burn my computer and get rid of these.
That's very flattering, Colin. I appreciate your confidence.
Dude, I want ins with the Catholic Church. That would be so cool. It's like, yo, Pope, I need something. Give me a beer on their way home.
Yeah, because that's all the Pope is good for.
Yeah,
That's literally all the Pope is good for.
I mean, can I call you in to exercise spirits from, like, swords and stuff?
Yeah, exercise them, get a Bowflex for them, take them on walks and stuff, yeah.
You ever
Spirits need good exercise, man.
You ever see, like, those, the jerk it workout things?
Oh, the
shake weights.
The shake weights, where you put it in your dick and you just shake it, and it's like...
Yeah, I love the shake weight.
Those would actually work really well.
What?
Those would actually work really well.
Yeah, no, they do actually work, apparently, very well. What I don't get is why? Just why would you advertise it like this? That's just asking
the advertising
for trouble.
was a little bit blatantly sexualized, which was an interesting choice on their part, but...
Yeah.
Always,
Speaking about penises and blatantly sexualized things, I found... so, are you guys familiar with the street artist Banksy?
Yeah, of course. I'm a
he's
fine
from
artist.
Bristol. I saw a bunch of his stuff in Bristol when I was there.
Well, there's another street artist in the UK who goes by the name Anksy. He has an asterisk as the first letter, and then the rest of his name is Anksy. And he is literally a street artist because he does all of his art on literal streets, and the only art he does is drawing penises around potholes so that they will be fixed.
That's a combination of disturbing and beautiful.
Yeah, because, public
what?
decent... Yeah, he draws a penis around a pothole so
Like
that...
in the street, in the concrete.
Right, in the street, like, with spray paint.
Yeah.
So that Public Works has to come out and repave over that.
And fix the road.
And thereby fix the road. Isn't that fucking brilliant?
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, I'm sure if I worked in public works, I'd be like, goddamn, it's a penis guy again. But, as a citizen who likes roads that don't have holes in them, I think that's really cool.
And for all we know, it could be multiple artists using the same name, who are just drawing penises. Maybe this is caught on somehow. Maybe it's just like 15-year-old kids who are like, I'll draw a penis around a pothole. I mean, it's probably people more clever than that, but what if 15-year-old children were the inspiration for it?
How well drawn are these phalluses?
Not.
Okay.
They're shitty penises.
Alright.
They're really terrible penises.
Does that make it worse or
not
better?
that I should talk, but... You're welcome. I don't know. I think that makes it better because it's a shitty penis around a shitty pothole.
I think that makes it civic engagement instead of art.
Maybe. I mean, it could be argued that it's art because the shitty penis is a commentary on the shitty pothole that it's around.
I don't think that's...
I think it's art with a strictly utilitarian function, which is fine, unless they're actually completely oblivious to what they're doing, which seems unlikely. Yeah.
I think we should talk about something that's not dicks.
What else is there?
So, I was gonna say, shaken weights, they remind me of this GIF. Have you ever seen that GIF? Where there's multiple GIFs of those, various individuals of various gender identities who could take like those foot-long jelly dildos and like put the entire thing down their throat and then just sort of cough it back up.
What? No.
Okay, it's really fucking impressive if you ever want to see something that'll make you gag, but is also kind of cool. But
I mean,
that exists, yeah.
I can fit a whole carrot in my mouth.
You're well on your way.
It's like a baby carrot or like a carrot?
Carrot? Colin, carrots are not this big.
What's in our fridge, huh?
For the listening
No, we don't
audience,
even have any carrots in our fridge.
Colin
yeah, we
held
do.
up his
I
two
had one this morning.
fingers as if to motion for a carrot that was literally a foot long. I don't think I've ever seen a foot long carrot.
$5 foot long, $5 foot long.
Like,
What is
maybe
this carrot? Like organic and raised on the tears of children?
Yes.
How would that make it a foot long carrot though?
No, it would make it $5.
Oh,
Yeah.
I get it.
Artisanal, you know.
Yeah. Does
Yeah, definitely.
You're gonna change the topic. What are you gonna change the topic to, Kevin?
Was I?
Yeah.
No, you were changing the topic to dildo gifts.
Okay, fair enough. Well, speaking of the children bloods and the children tears, this weekend I finally got the chance to try the game Bloodborne.
Oh,
Which,
I've been hearing a lot about that. How is
if
that?
you are curious, I played for about half an hour with Aaron and Josh. And you start out, you wake up, there's a creepy old man who kind of looks like cowboy zombie Jesus looming over you in a surgical lab. And then you have a hallucination where a werewolf comes out of the floor and a bunch of tiny white men crawl over you and crawl down your throat. And then you start playing the game, and it's like Dark Souls. It's an action RPG where you run around this abstract, like, Lovecraftian, Victorian London. Well, it's just beautifully rendered with all, like, this Gothic architecture and steeples and churches and statues of crying people and hoods everywhere. Just, like, in this horrifying environment, and you have to just basically get from A to B, and there's just dudes who are out to kill you and monsters, and it's like it's a game where you go from point A to point B in like a really beautiful environment with incredibly difficult monsters and a very, very deep, challenging combat system, and it's really, really, really fun. I like it. It reminds me of my favorite movies, so check it out. Unfortunately, it's for PS4, which means I'll never play it.
Yeah. No, I've been running into that problem too. Have you ever heard of the game Journey?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's only on PlayStation platforms, but it came out a few years ago, and I've been, like, I remember really wanting to play it when it came out.
Yeah, it's beautiful. My mom loves it.
Yeah. Does your mom play it?
Yeah, my mom.
Oh,
My
cool.
mom likes games, but not games with shooting in them, which rules out Skyrim and also most of the other games that we have.
Yeah.
My sister plays a lot more console games than I do, so she loves Assassin's Creed and Skyrim.
yeah.
We played a lot of Halo together over the summer. My mom just can't stand that stuff. She plays a lot of like escape the room flash games, and also Journey. So
Yeah, no, Journey it looks really cool. I've watched a few playthroughs of it, and I want to play it myself. But
Yeah.
there's so many games like that that just aren't available for whatever reason. Oh, what was the game I was thinking of? I think it's called Planescape something or other. There's like Planescape Torment.
I don't know why I know that.
Yeah,
Those
Planescape
words go together in my
Torment
mind.
was a game that came out in 1999 as part of like a D&D series of games.
That's why I've heard of it.
Right. And unlike pretty much all the other D&D games that came out in the 90s and early 2000s, it was fucking fantastic because there was such rich storyline and plot and character development, and like you could totally do combat-y hack and slash raw, but the game rewarded intelligence and wit so much to the point where if you wanted to, you could go through the entire game and only fight once.
Cool.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I mean, you can do that in Dungeons and Dragons too, just like vanilla, and that's what we've been doing, which is really fun.
Yeah.
But it's not a video game, you know.
Yeah, that's true. A lot more talky in real life. Plus, just running combat is just so...
Running combat is obnoxious.
It is.
It is a little bit.
It's
too.
more fun to just deal with it like in instances where you don't assume that everyone just immediately wants to attack you.
Yeah.
Except for boss fights, which is the most fun combat anyway, so whatever.
I disagree with that.
Really?
Yeah.
I had a lot of fun with that boss fight where you made us jump through dimensions and kill a dude with a car.
Okay, no, that was a lot of fun for
Yeah,
everybody,
spring
I think.
semester.
I don't usually like playing boss fights.
Hmm.
Because they can feel kind of just like beating on something until it finally falls over. But it really depends on how it's rendered. I think video games are more susceptible to that because a video game can't... Well, at least we don't have any video game models that right now that actually respond to how long you're taking to do something and what the character's actions and inputs say about what they want to happen and actually change the game based on that.
Yeah.
Like, so you know, if somebody's having a really hard time with this boss and is just, you know, getting really bored and frustrated with it, the game can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
Whereas the DM can say, "You're in New York now," because that makes it interesting.
A giant rock falls, crushes down a hide. Yay.
Or more accurately, he gets crushed by 50 horses.
Yes! Oh my
is
god.
the best.
D&D is the best.
So I had this interview for this grad prep program on Thursday, and like, I spent a good 5 minutes explaining D&D to one of the professors who was like 60 years old and didn't know what D&D was.
Nice.
She's like, so what is this Dungeons and Dragons? Because I'm doing this computer science final project that's a D&D character creator, kind of very basic thing, and this is an interview for a computer science grad prep program, so it was actually relevant, and I got to explain D&D to a bunch of old guys and have it actually be a thing that was valuable. I was very pleased about that.
Were they like, oh, well, that sounds interesting, or were they actually like...
Oh, they were into it. And one of the other guys in there was, he was probably 30-something, he was the youngest one, and he said he had played 2nd edition AD&D.
Yeah.
And he was saying it hasn't changed that much.
Yeah.
And he was pleased about that, so...
Yeah.
That's exciting.
I've been on a lot of... there's a particular subreddit that I think you would really like for D&D specific purposes. Both of you, actually. It's called D&D Behind the Screen. And it's specifically geared for DMs and has a bunch of different like tools. There's a bunch of random encounter tables or random character tables, and you know, there's stuff like let's build a city or
if you like that stuff,
or
you'll
a
adore
sandbox.
the 5th edition DM guide. It's
Yeah,
full of that.
It's really, really good.
It's beautiful.
How much
50.
is...
$50 each. Player's Handbook definitely worth it. DM Guide worth it if you like that kind of... It's useful even if you're trying to build worlds not randomly. I mean, you can use it to build a world with dice.
Mm-hmm.
And it works really well. But it's useful even if you don't want to do that because it gives you a lot of kind of ideas of how to structure campaigns and ideas of things that you might do in certain situations. You just kind of look up and down the tables and pick something that's appropriate to the scenario and kind of scope that you want. Or if you want to be really fancy with it, you can just roll a die and, you know, go with that one.
I feel like I'd have a lot of fun with that.
I feel like you would.
I enjoy that kind of chance insanity. Like this past weekend when we were playing, we they had a random encounter in a castle where they were wandering around this lord's castle, and they opened up a door, and there was one of the castle guards masturbating on the top of a pile of pre-industrial bike horns. And they used this random encounter to basically encourage the rest of the castle guard to go, like you know, there's a guy in there, and they went and checked out, and it turns out all those castle guards kind of ended up just joining in, and they just kept trapping castle guards in the horn
This was
room.
not our intent. Like, we were trying to report a case of public indecency, and the castle guards were massively incompetent. But this is par for the course in Colin's D&D campaign, so we just rolled with it.
I prefer to focus on the weird rather than the consistent.
Yeah.
It's more fun that way.
Yeah, it definitely sounds that way. Yeah.
I mean, they also took like, what did I tell you about the characters, like, because they had a bounty out on their heads, like, and by these
this is actually classic D&D right here.
You should explain it then.
We got paid to assassinate ourselves. It was glorious.
But what?
So there was a bounty out on our heads, and
Uh-huh.
in the session that I hadn't been in a couple weeks ago, the players were targeted by a bunch of mercenary assassins who burned down the ship that they were on, and the characters, barely escaped with their lives, etc. So we eventually, tracked down the people that these assassins had sent. Some shenanigans went on, who had sent these assassins. Some shenanigans went on. It turned out to be related to the specific castle, and they had a bunch of trouble getting into the castle and stuff. But eventually, we get to this kind of captain of the guards, really high up guy, and we kind of turn the conversation to, so being mercenaries, we heard through the grapevine that you had this bounty out on these guys, and we happen to know that they didn't succeed in their objective. Would you like us to take care of that for you? So he hired us to assassinate ourselves, and we went and hid out in the woods, and...
How did they not recognize
They didn't know what we looked like.
Oh.
There's no photography in this world.
Okay.
So they didn't know what we looked like, so we just went out and hid in the woods for a week, and I meditated upon the holy scriptures of Herlangen, and the other 2 members of my party got stoned and played Settlers of Catan for a week. And then we went back and said that we had assassinated ourselves and got paid.
Wait, how they just took your word for it that you did it?
They provided very convincing evidence, actually.
We had very convincing evidence on us because they wanted us to assassinate the people who had been stirring up trouble in this village called... Rustlin, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I had kept some incriminating evidence from Rustlin that I was going to take back to my home city-state for espionage purposes. Mm-hmm. So I made some more copies of that, and it's this super high-level confidential information. So I just handed it to this guy and said, hey, so we found this on their bodies. They're like, oh, well, obviously, they would be the only person who would have this, so... Obviously, he wasn't thinking creatively enough
No,
to see through our
he
ruse.
wasn't, but...
So...
I mean, I would also expect someone wanting a bounty to, want, a hand or a head or a body part. But,
He didn't ask too many questions.
Yeah, he was a bit preoccupied by, his guards getting it on the pile of horns.
Yeah.
He was pretty distressed about that.
Yeah. I would share my story of what we did on D&D this weekend, but we didn't again.
Aww.
We haven't done D&D for a month because everyone keeps flaking. Well, not everyone. Mostly Natalie because she has thesis, which is understandable, totally acceptable. And then Eric usually follows suit in the I have stuff to work on sort of way. Or Anna will do the same. And then Adas is just okay.
Yeah. We haven't had our entire party together since the beginning of the semester.
Yeah, I think Rafi came to a couple. As long as we have you, Jake, and Matt, it works out.
Yeah.
It's kind of how we're doing. Rafi's like a guest star every couple of weeks sort of thing now.
Yeah, me and Jake and Matt make a kind of nicely rounded team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just thought about, because I have some ideas for the campaign that I would want to run over the summer with you and Anna and Anders. And I don't know what sort of character Anders would play. I'm assuming dwarf of some type. But I think your dynamic with Anna's character, if you continue using Urag...
I will.
Yeah.
I'm very attached.
I think Urag and Ryu would be an interesting pairing. I'm interested to see what that would be. Also, you're a cleric, aren't you?
Yes.
That might be difficult.
Why?
Without giving too much away, you guys are going to be in the Eastern Dwarven Empire, and the only gods who work or are effective in any way, shape, or form in that empire are the Dwarven Pantheon. All the other gods have abandoned that part of the world. So, I don't know. There might be some interesting stuff we can do with that, actually. I don't know. I haven't really given it much thought, though.
I'm sure we can make it work.
Yeah. No, I'm sure we can.
You still need to send me map locations if you want me to edit that
Yes,
at all.
I have that in my backpack, actually.
Oh, excellent.
Which, I think there's a copier in this building somewhere.
Yeah.
So if we just want to make a copy of that quick after the show, then that would be excellent.
Yeah.
So since you were last on this show, Lydia, we had a new segment called Google or Colin, which a lot of the previous guests have played. Adassa right now is in the lead. She has gotten 4 out of 5 right, which is the record. What I did is I asked the beginning of a question to both Google and Colin, and they filled in the end of the question.
This is a beautiful game. I appreciate that it exists.
For example, one of the questions I asked a few weeks ago was, is Iceland blank? Google filled it in with, is Iceland halal? And Colin filled it in with, is Iceland full of gorgeous blonde women?
Which is true.
And then our guest host had to guess which one Google said and which one Colin said.
I think I would have gotten that one right.
Yeah.
That's an easy one.
Yeah.
I don't even know what the fuck a halal is.
Halal means that it's like, it's the Islam version of kosher, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Islamic dietary regulations,
Yeah, more or less.
It's actually pretty similar to kosher. The actual mechanics, although not all by any means.
And I mean, there's more to it than just dietary. I mean, halal is just generally anything that's permitted in Islamic law.
Yeah, it's like how hijab isn't just the headscarf; it's the whole way you dress.
Right.
The concept of
You know,
modesty and
there's
stuff.
halal, which is anything which is permitted, and haram, which is the opposite, which is anything that's not permitted. You shouldn't do it. Anyway, so we have Google or Colin for this week.
All right.
And you have to get a perfect 5 out of 5.
I don't like my chances.
To be the new winner. But
despite the fact that I live with Colin, I
you
think
live
that
with
might
Colin,
put me at a disadvantage.
I think that'll put you at an advantage because Lee and Aaron have both played and got 2 out of 5.
Oh, I can do better than that.
Right. Adassa played and got 4 out of 5. Adassa had met Colin like twice before that. Keep in mind.
See, well, now there's a correlation between not knowing Colin and doing better at this game. And I live with him.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well,
Let's do some science.
We'll see.
Yeah.
So the first question I asked was, can you break blank? And these are the responses I got. Can you break your penis? Can you break your own neck if you really wanted to?
The second one is definitely Colin.
Can you break your own neck if you really wanted to? That was Google.
Really?
That was Google. Colin asked if you can break your penis.
Colin, that is such like a 14-year-old boy Google question. I am ashamed of you.
It's what I thought of first, and the answer is also yes, you can break your penis.
I know the answer
Yes.
is yes.
The next question, is it possible blank? Is it possible to find love? Is it possible for a man to get pregnant?
That is hard.
It is very hard.
Neither of those is particularly inspired. Like, did you ask Colin these questions while he was asleep?
No,
I was
I
actually
asked
watching anime and drinking alcohol all the time, so...
Yeah, I might as well have been asleep.
Basically.
I asked him earlier today.
Alright, I think Colin was wondering about the male pregnancy.
No, Colin
damn
was
it.
wondering if it's possible to find love.
No, it's not. You'll die alone!
The third question, is there blank? Is there an old Zealand? Is there a reason for gravity?
I'm gonna guess the second one is Colin.
Yes.
Alright.
That old Zealand?
Yes, there is.
There is an old Zealand,
Actually.
in fact. I think it's somewhere in Germany, Holland.
I think it's Holland.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Zealand, but it would be Z-E-E. Because it's Dutch.
The fourth question, what if a person blank? What if a person fell in love with a fictional character? What if a person were possessed by Jesus?
I really want the second one to be Colin, so I'm gonna guess that.
Unfortunately, no. Colin asks, what if a person fell in love with a fictional character?
That happens constantly.
Yeah, but like really fell in love as opposed to just obsessive.
I don't think that's possible.
I don't know if it is possible.
I
It
think
depends on your definition of love.
if your definition of love correlates with teenage obsession, then I think it probably happens more often than people falling in love with real people.
Fair enough.
The final question, can your hands blank? Can your hands lose weight? Can your hands crush each other without your body stopping you?
Well, I know the answer to that question, but I don't know whether Colin would be interested. The first one is Colin.
No.
Alright.
Colin asked if your hands can crush you without your body stopping.
What is the answer to that,
Crush each
actually?
other.
Oh, damn.
Wow, I guess there is
Unless, actually, that might not be true. If you're having some kind of seizure, you probably could. But under normal psychological and biological conditions, no, you can't injure yourself like that without your body stopping you.
So I guess there is a correlation between knowing Colin and doing poorly on this.
You just
You
become
got 1 out of
inoculated
5.
to all of this crazy stuff.
You got 1 out of 5.
It's normal.
I thought you would at least get 2. Man. Well, okay, here's something to make you feel a little bit better about yourself. And, you know, possibly make Colin feel more frustrated, but...
Using big words hurts you.
So, you're familiar with our big word segment by now.
I am not, actually.
I'm pretty sure we've played this before with you.
With me?
Maybe?
I don't know.
Or actually, no, probably not, because you were gone.
And I've been shamefully remiss in actually listening to your podcast.
Yeah. Well, okay, so, I mean, this is a fairly simple thing.
All right.
I'll give you a word, I'll spell it, I can even use it in a sentence, maybe, if you really need me to, and you have to guess what it means.
Okay, I literally, scored full marks on this on the GRE.
Okay.
So unless you're making these words up, I should do a little bit better.
The first word is kainotophobia.
Spell it.
Kainotophobia.
Okay, kainoto.
It's a fear of kites.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
Can you use it in a sentence that actually means something and isn't just kainotophobia is a word?
I don't like moving because I have kainotophobia.
Fear of moving.
Okay, it's gotta be fear of movement. Can you spell it again?
Kainotophobia.
See, I want to say fear of movement, but that's not spelled right to be the Greek root. But I'm gonna guess that anyway. Fear of moving.
Fear of change. So close.
Oh, okay. Kainos. Okay.
Okay. The next word is sanguine, or sanguine.
That has a couple definitions. One is calm, one is bloody.
I should know that because that's the first part of Sanguinius, which is one of the Primarchs in Warhammer 40k, but I don't actually know.
There's also the Daedric Prince of something.
Yeah, that's true.
He's the one who wants you to get really drunk, isn't he?
Yeah. He's the Daedric Prince of revelry and fun and sort of dark fun, honestly.
Like Bacchus.
Which doesn't really have anything to do with either of the definitions of that word, but...
Kind of. I don't know. But, I mean, there also is in Oblivion, when you join the Dark Brotherhood, you have to go to, their sanctuary, and the door asks you what is I forget the fucking question, but it's, what is the color of death, I think? And the answer is sanguine, my brother.
Sanguine isn't a color. It's an adjective.
What is the sound of... I don't know.
It's a metaphor.
Something... Whatever.
Next word.
Sanguine means optimistic, having a bright complexion, or alternatively, bloody. The next word is halomancy, or halomancy.
Spell?
Halomancy.
That's totally made up for some YA novel. Use it in a sentence.
Oh, fuck me.
Hey, you offered.
Yeah, I did. Fucking...
That's not a sentence.
yeah. Shit.
Alright, while you're thinking about that, what language does it come from?
I don't know.
You are such a terrible vocabulary quiz giver.
Well, I never give that to Colin. I mean, not that it would help.
I don't know what words mean. I don't even know why we do this segment.
What do you think halomancy means, or halomancy?
I think it means the art of constructing halos around people's heads. Like, you know when old fucking painter dudes used to paint like those discs around people's heads back in like Byzantine art? That's halomancy.
It's
when
not
you have to
paint
paint
gilding, so they wouldn't actually
Shush!
paint
I am an
it.
artist. It's when you do that.
He's an artiste. I don't actually have a sentence for halomancy that doesn't just straight up give it away.
You can't tell me what language it's from, and you can't tell me what the. You're awful. All right, it's some kind of like art or craft of like magic-y type related stuff, because mancy generally
It's
means
divination by using salt.
The fuck?
Yeah.
It's probably Latin.
Probably. The next word is aphemia.
Spell it.
Aphemia.
Aphemia.
Euphemia.
Wephemia.
This is hard. This is much harder for
Iphemia. Euphemia.
Weophemia.
For ice creamy.
I want ice cream now.
It actually isn't too far off from that rhyme.
Can you use this one in a sentence?
Yeah, when Colin gets really excited, sometimes he becomes ephemic. Ephemic.
Like euphoria?
Ephemia, the inability to form sentences correctly.
Yeah, just about. It's the loss of ability to produce articulate speech. Like that. Although it's not just the voluntary, I'm not gonna speak articulately. It's actually
medical
literal loss of ability to do that.
I kind of want to talk about that a little bit.
The final word is orology.
Study blowjobs.
I mean, possibly.
Is it O-R-O?
O-R-O.
Logy?
L-O-G-Y.
Study of mouths.
No.
Really?
Study of mountains.
Yeah, blowjobs.
Okay, that's no. Show me the etymology for that. I don't believe this. I'm angry about this word because it is a word of lies.
Would you like dictionary.com?
I don't care. Just show me a legitimate etymology.
Fucking, I don't know.
Click on that thing.
This thing?
Yes. No, not yeah, yes. Oro.
Yeah.
Greek is stupid.
Why is Greek stupid?
Because
it's not stupid. Are you insulting the entirety of Greece, Lydia?
I'm insulting the entirety of the Greece language. Also, look.
Of the Greece language.
Oro as a prefix in Greek can mean mountain, can also mean mouth. So orology could also mean the study of mouths in Greek as a compound word.
Possibly.
It probably isn't a thing that people actually say in modern Greek, but theoretically I could be correct. And that's enough for me.
I mean, if you want to play it that way.
You're much better at this game than I am.
I don't know why we're doing late night, actually. There's no stream to refresh. I just felt like it isn't a full radio show without a late night segment.
You should just play Bear Force 1.
That's going... Damn it! I was going to keep that a secret, but that was going to be our late night theme for our last show.
Oh.
It's not a secret.
Well, no one will listen to this one, so fuck it, let's do it anyway.
Well, I mean, I mostly wanted to keep it a secret for you, so that you wouldn't know what the last late night theme was going to be.
Well, Lydia can attest to this, but I've been listening to that song basically like 3 times every day for the past week or so.
Bear Force 1?
Yeah.
I'm so glad I got you on
Came
that.
in and showed it to me and was like... I was playing Skyrim, wasn't I?
Yeah, you were, and I was like, this is what your orcs do.
And for the record, it's not.
Although, for the record, there is a gay orc simulator coming out soon that I'm buying you.
It's set in Scotland. I want it.
I would try and do a Scottish accent, but
Dating simulator, not like porn simulator. You left out the word dating, and I realized that it like actually changes the implied meaning.
Really changes the meaning. Oh damn! Oh, never mind. I was about to do a weird Scottish accent during like an orgasm or something, but that probably.
I don't think I'm capable of mimicking what that sounds like.
No.
Something between a whale call and like a mythic noise heard about beyond the abyss of space.
All my Scottish friends, you said that.
Both of them.
Tell all of your Scottish friends to
I
send
have
me.
more than 2 Scottish friends. Like 10.
I want them to send me voice clips of them orgasming, and I'll remix them all together into a dubstep song.
So awkward. Like.
But if it's like music, then that won't be.
I'm not asking.
Have you actually heard the dubstep song, which is just like I think whoever the artist was just took a bunch of sounds of porn stars orgasming.
No, but I want to hear this now.
Yeah. Oh God, it's excellent. It's very, very not very well done, but very.
Let's not listen to this on the show.
Yeah,
for the sake of our listeners.
We're not going to.
Yeah.
For the sake of me.
Yeah. Speaking of, should we call it?
Yeah, I don't want to run.
We have a nice short chunk of shitty content.
Yeah,
it'll be good.
I think
no, it's a ghetto episode.
A small nugget of shit is better than a large, loose, floppy, liquidy pile of it. So, I think as long as we package our shit into a shorter span of time than our normal episodes, the ghetto episodes will actually be tolerable.
Yeah.
But yeah, with that said, I think we can end it for tonight. We will be back next week with our final episode of What the Hell Did You Expect? Thank you, Lydia, for coming on and being a guest this week.
You're welcome. I'm sorry I couldn't save your show from awfulness.
I mean, that's fine. No, I don't think anyone's capable of that at this point. But yeah, we'll see you all next week.
I sit alone in my four-cornered room staring at candy.